From the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office in Lincoln, Nebraska, this is the 902 Podcast. Welcome to the 902 Podcast, and we are live in studio today. This must have been what they felt like after the TV thing started.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Kind of weird. I don't know where to look.
I don't know what to do with my hands. It's just weird being on video, but we're trying something new with the 902 Podcast, incorporating some video into the show. So bear with us. We're trying to figure all this out. It's been a little bit of a break, but trying to work out some of the kinks. So we're glad to be back, and we got some exciting news to talk about today. And specifically, I guess we want to talk about our opening for our new PIO position.
Yeah.
Oh, what is a PIO?
Well, the Public Information Officer, and you guys have spent a lot of time working on it, more of the heavy lifting. I got to just be the part of the idea guy on this. That's the best part. I just, think of stuff.
Well, we've been working on this for a year and a half to try to get that position up and going and get it approved by the board. And it happened last Tuesday.
Yep.
So, I remember... we've talked about it in theory. Obviously, we take communication stuff pretty seriously here. And, Sarah, you and I have worked on social media together for quite a while. And our PIO type of our communication job has kind of been an ancillary duty. So
yes.
it's just been something that we've had people pick up and help with, but it's really never gotten maybe the full-time attention it deserves.
Yeah, it's time consuming. People don't think it is, but
well, and number one, it's time consuming because we want people to be intentional, strategic about it, Ben. It's communications is in our strategic plan, and we've got some bigger goals when it comes to messaging and making sure that we're communicating with the public effectively. But Sarah, I remember this is almost 2 years ago now. I'm sitting in my dorm room in Quantico, and I start to see on Twitter that there's wildfires in Lancaster County.
yes.
And
It was on a Sunday.
Yeah,
It was on a Sunday.
Yeah, it was a weekend. And we started exchanging text messages, and before too long, you were up, I think, on Twitter pushing out updates about the fire locations, where things were at. And it worked just like it should have.
Well, we got so many more people coming to our site and doing that on Facebook and Twitter at that time, because we became the agency that was leading the information off, because Captain Scriven was in the
Emergency Operations Center
and giving us updates, and then we're feeding Sarah that so that people could know exactly what was going on.
Yeah. And so, Sarah, you and I and people prior to us have, like we said, split up those duties before, but I think that really drove it home, at least in my mind, maybe for you too, but just how important like real-time updates when we've got an emergency situation going on were.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a learning curve for us. There was probably some things I put out that maybe shouldn't have went out, but, nothing was life critical about that. And it was really just, it needed to happen now. And yeah, like you guys say, I was in Costco and Ben called me and said, I'm gonna need you to start getting stuff out on social media. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, sorry, honey, wrap up the shopping.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a good learning curve, and we need this, and we need it more than just some graphic designs going up on our social media accounts.
Well, for sure. And I mean, Ben, I think there's probably a public expectation, and I think rightly so, that your public safety agencies are pushing out information, especially when it involves, critical incidents like that.
Well, yeah, because people were wondering, okay, do I need to get out of here? Do I need to get my horses out of here? And it was happening really quick because it was so windy that day, and that fire was just flying through everything, and it was going miles really quick. So that was really important for us to be able to get that out to the people. And also there's folks, family and all that, and friends that are concerned about the people that lived out there.
Yeah, well, without a doubt. And it's if anybody's listened to this show for a long time, they know that that communication is a big part of what we do here, and part of our reason is we want to build trust with the community, and it's part of our mission statement. We want to build public trust, and so this is now morphed into a full-time position at the sheriff's office, and it went live today.
It did go live today.
So, Sarah, where can people go to find information about the PIO position and apply if they want to?
Yeah, so just like all of our positions, it's listed on joinlso.com. And once you go there, there'll be a small description for it. And then click the little public information officer link, and it'll take you to our Apply Now website. There'll be an application process, and then there are some supplemental questions just so we can get to know you a little better. And that'll get you started. It's open for 2 weeks, so it'll close the end of this month. And we hope to get lots of people applying.
Well, and one of the things we should probably tell them is the salary.
Yeah.
It's 82,000
If
to
I got it.
109.
85.
85. Ooh.
289
Yeah.
to 109,262 is
Yeah.
the top. So
So pretty respectable salary. Obviously, a lot of other benefits that go along with that. Full insurance benefits package, retirement, and other options through the county, and we're pretty fortunate here.
And they have a great boss.
Well, that doesn't hurt either. So, but we're looking forward to supporting whoever it is that comes into this position. We've got a lot of groundwork that's been laid already for what we're doing, but we're certainly looking for somebody that can take our communications game to the next level.
yeah, we really need like a visionary that can come in here and go, okay, here's the things you've done, and now I'm going to make it bigger and better. And as I say, wrangle the chief deputy and the sheriff in sometimes, give them a vision of where they're going. So
Yeah, now we may be asking a little bit too much with that. I don't know if that's a job for just one person, but
we're still here to help, John. We're not going anywhere.
yeah. But I think you're exactly right. I mean, we're looking for somebody who can really take ownership of that piece of our mission and be intentional and strategic with our messaging, with our branding, and help us kind of continue to take our communications out to the people that need to hear it, and that's ultimately the citizens that work, live, and play in Lancaster County, so they can get the public safety information that they need, hopefully in a timely basis.
And they get to learn about our people and what we do here. And I think showing the human side of our employees is another great thing that we'll be able to do too better.
Well, and we've put that out on some of our posting stuff. This is being advertised out on social media already. And one of the things, and Sarah, you and I worked on it, but we want somebody who's an effective storyteller.
Yeah, because we do a lot of great work here, and we need somebody to share it in a way that the public understands. Because I'm sure as people listen to this podcast, they know that there's cop talk and then there's everyday civilian talk, or people that are on the outside listening. And so we need someone that can translate the great work we do so that everyone can understand it.
And that was one of the reasons, because you and I debated back and forth on, are we going to do a sworn person or are we going to go civilian? And I think that was probably the biggest reasons why we went with civilian is they'll be able to help us get our word out better, not sound like drinking smelled like alcoholic beverages, as I say.
Yeah.
And that's where you're supposed to talk about it in court, but it does sound funny in the general public when you talk like that.
Yeah, hopefully somebody that can just bridge that gap and bring, like you said, Sarah, the great work that all the people here at the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office are doing every day, but hopefully somebody that can translate that to, John and Jane citizen out on the street and be able to share that, not only, the good, the bad, but everything in between, and just so people are overall informed on what's going on.
Yeah, sure.
When it went live today, September 13th, and it's going to be open through the end of the month.
Yes, September 29th. It'll close on a Sunday.
Okay.
At midnight. So
a couple weeks it's open. So we're trying to get the word out and make sure that people are aware of that. Ben, anything else, specifically that you're kind of looking for in a candidate? Obviously, we're not going to do the job interview over the podcast here, but what's something that would make somebody a successful candidate in your eyes?
They're going to have to be multi-talented, because, we still have the modern media that we deal with all the time, and they're going to have to be able to deal with that portion of it. But the social media and doing that part of it is a whole different skill set too. But that individual is going to need to be able to do that. And they'll probably need to be a little bit thick-skinned, because us cops around here are a little bit different breed. So
public safety is definitely it's a unique
culture.
but it's also pretty rewarding too. And,
Definitely.
And everything that this person does is going to make a difference in the community and be a big part of keeping it safe, because that communication piece is so important.
And well, another one of the things, and I was probably just as guilty of doing this too, but a lot of our sergeants and captains and deputies don't like to talk to the media and don't do that. And this is that's one of the things I'm looking for this individual to do, is help us be better when the mics and the cameras are in our face, and we have to get that information out, because I do it a lot, you do it a lot, but we're not always going to be there at the scene to do that. And having the confidence and practicing and doing that makes it so much easier. Because when I first started doing it, it was a challenge. And it's probably, Sarah probably say, yeah, it still is for me. But yeah, it takes practice. And that's another thing I'm looking for, is how to make us improve in doing the media and things of that nature.
Well, there's certainly going to be some on-camera opportunities for whomever this is, but a lot of the work's going to be behind the scenes too, I think, Sarah. I mean, we're looking for, just what Ben said, somebody who can really help us kind of manage some of the communication stuff, set our folks up for success. We're also looking for somebody that can do some of the content creation as well, and has some background and experience in that.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think working in an elected official's office, it's a little different than some other public information officers. We want the badge out there. We want our people to be the ones talking about it. And so it is kind of more of a backseat role for a public information officer. But the behind the scenes and getting everybody prepped and ready is really important as well. So that's kind of a good thing. And I think another thing to note, if people are listening to this kind of outside Lancaster County and don't know, for the most part, we have an amazing relationship with our media partners.
Yeah.
I know when I've gone to classes, people are like, you meet with your media every day if you want to. And I'm like, yeah, we have a 3-day-a-week media briefing that the media comes to us and we talk to them, and we're very open and honest with them. And that doesn't happen in some communities. And so to have a community that supports you is really an amazing thing for us. I think it's a great selling point for us too.
Well, and I think it also helps them.
Yeah.
Because they'll call, we'll give information. We're not, the worst thing in the world you can say is no comment, because then they're going to go find it on their own. So it's a way to try to control your message. And when you went to Quantico, you came back with another idea of us doing Facebook Live during our media briefings. And as everybody knows, on the news, you get about at the most 30 seconds, to try to get your message, and they control what actually gets out there. So this way we have an opportunity to communicate with our public and giving the whole story.
Yeah, and we've taken some pretty intentional steps to be, the most reliable source for our own news, and we're not afraid to, put that out there. We do have great media partners here, Sarah, and we need them. But we're also not afraid to go directly to the public with the information that we have, and I think we plan to continue to do that as long as we're able to. So, the other thing too, just compared to every community is different with dynamics, and you mentioned the difference between maybe an individual department in one structure versus an elected official type of office. Our organization is really pretty flat, and so there's not a ton of bureaucracy that we have to navigate, Ben, for this person. And I know that there's different dynamics that come into the public information realm. Sometimes you have to get various levels of approval. Sometimes there's various, branding things that have to go out. We're going to have some of that, like any organization, but the good news for whoever gets this job is that it's going to be a much thinner layer of that to have to navigate. And there's going to be a lot of autonomy for whoever it is to really make this job their own.
Yeah, they will. And it'll be a learning curve for a little bit for them on that, because probably not many of them have this kind of experience, and they're going to have to learn. But it's a brand new position, and boy, somebody could come in here, take it, and make it their own, and really have this grow. That's really what, you asked me, what am I looking for? I'm looking for that individual. And we're not scared to take chances. Our Facebook Live, we debated a little bit about, do we do this or not? And it turned out that it's a good thing, and not very many agencies do this.
Yeah. Well, again, open for a couple weeks, Sarah. JoinLSO.com.
You bet.
And we're looking for the best and the brightest out there to come join us. Maybe even be part of this show. I don't know. That's a bit. I mean, Ben.
You know, I don't know if I could stand another star in here with us at this point.
We'll see. The podcast may or may not be included in that job. We'll see how it shakes out. But certainly happy to try out the video podcast today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed seeing something, not just hearing something, but something a little bit different. Make sure that you tune in to future episodes of the 902 podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. And you can also follow us on social media at LSO Nebraska, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, even TikTok. We're across the board on that. You can also send us an email, lso@lancaster.ne.gov, if you've got questions, suggestions, or just want to learn a little bit more about the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office. Any of us be happy to visit with you about that. Hope to catch you on the next episode of the 902 podcast. We'll catch you later.